All right, welcome back. So, just for fun today, why not? I watched Dark Elevation. It's on YouTube. It's all free and all that wonderful stuff. Takes 40 minutes and 33 seconds to go through it, and it's enjoyable. Honestly, it's kind of a throwback. It reminds me of watching Maple Leaf Wrestling when I was a kid. And you'd have a lot of squash matches, and then you'd have a main event match where you kind of know who's going to win, but it's a little more competitive than the other matches. And it's an easily consumable wrestling product. So, why not? So we start off with Emmy Sakura versus Queen Aminata. Now, the interesting thing with this is that this is, of course, your entry level program. You're going to have wrestlers who are green, and it's going to show. And Queen Aminata, you could tell there's definitely green in her move set and everything. It appears that her backside is the weapon in her matches, and I'm not sure. I mean, there's other wrestlers that have done this too. She had moves in there that reminded me of kind of Naomi and recent Nia Jax matches as well. Sakura, just she's great. She was biting. There was a good series of chops being traded between the two, and then she pulled her up before the 3 count, and then finished her off for the 3 count. So Emmy Sakura continues to be a heel, even though she does the stomp stomp clap, which is "We Will Rock You," and she wears the whole crown and the robe to the ring, the Freddie Mercury throwback. But still, she is a heel, so she wins the match there. The second match, and the best thing is there's no commercials, there's no backstage segments, it's just matches. Wren Jones versus Frankie Kazarian. There's lots of good chain wrestling early on, fast moves back and forth. Frankie does get the quick win in this, which is good. Frankie, of course, on Wednesday will be against Adam Cole. So, yeah, I thought that was enjoyable as well. Lana Lennox was then against Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford with the bunny. And what's interesting with this one is that I hadn't seen Lennox before, but I have to say, Penelope's getting better. One thing with AEW, they don't have the NXT, they don't have the real developmental stuff. We kind of watch the developmental stuff going on in real time. Penelope is becoming a cleaner worker. There's less moves that you go, well, that didn't quite hit, or that's not really what she intended. And there was some good back and forth too, where the bunny's outside the ring, and so she's getting involved a little bit, and so yeah, Lana was up against it, and Eddie Kingston. I have to say, Eddie Kingston was the highlight of this show today. I would recommend people go and watch it just to listen to Eddie Kingston. He is having the time of his life. Him and Paul White, the two of them, and Tony Schiavone's trying to call the match. Good luck, because Eddie Kingston just, I mean, I cracked up a couple of times listening to him. So it was an easy win. Penelope Ford wins with the Muda lock, which is a good finisher, and Penelope can pull that off. She has the flexibility to make that move look good. And yeah, I think that the sky is the limit for Penelope Ford. I do. I think she's one of the ladies to watch in this company in the future. And then the bunny was right back out for the next match, which was the Butcher and the Blade against Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. Truth Magnum. I just, I heard that and I thought, huh, that sounds like a really weird brand of condom, the Truth Magnum. I don't even, truth of what? So it was, and yeah, Kingston absolutely hammed it up. He was cheering on the Butcher and the Blade. This match went maybe 10 seconds. It felt that way anyways, and it felt like, so back in the 80s, back when I was a lot younger, you'd have the Mulkey brothers in the ring. They would look like two members of the audience that just ended up in the ring. Nobody knew why. And they would then be destroyed by the Road Warriors, which was one of my favorite things I ever watched. I was pretty sure they were dead, but it was an impressive show. And that was kind of what this reminded me of here. That you had two guys in matching tights, looked sharp, getting absolutely annihilated. And so maybe these guys are good wrestlers. I have no idea, because I don't think they got an offensive maneuver in between the two of them. But it again, this is something that I think wrestling has been missing. The true enhancement talent. The guys who go out there and get beat up and they make the other guys look good. And it's something that wrestling, I'm not sure why wrestling's scared of it. I'm not sure what the problem is, but it is this tradition in the wrestling world that exists for a reason. You build people up, and then they clash with the top tier talent, and it's interesting. So then we get Jade Cargill versus Shauna Reed. This was a very women's wrestling match heavy show. Of the 8 matches, 4 of them were women's matches. So while we don't see women's matches often enough on Dynamite, we certainly are seeing them on Dark Elevation. Jade Cargill versus Shauna Reed was quick. And Paul White is very smitten with Jade Cargill. Jade has all the tools you look for in creating a star wrestler. She is one that I really believe that if AEW wasn't a thing, would be in WWE, she'd be in the pipeline, and Vince would be seeing dollar signs. She can wrestle. She's got the personality. She's got on the mic. And here, it was interesting. I thought it was funny too that they were talking about Scott Hall and saying they never saw Scott Hall do a kip up. And I'm thinking, yeah, I don't remember ever seeing Scott Hall do a kip up either. So it was a nice fast win for Jade Cargill. And again, Eddie Kingston having the time of his life. The next match was Ella Shea and Jay Lee against Anna Jay and Ty Conti. Every time Ty Conti comes out to go to the ring, she just looks so darned happy. It's hard not to cheer for her. And it's funny because on NXT, when she was there, she played a heel. And I think she's much better as a face. I think it just suits her. Which is weird, of course, because Anna Jay's in Dark Order. In Dark Order, you can kind of sense at some point in time they'll be heel again. It'll be a heel faction. But Anna Jay, she's getting much better as well. So Penelope Ford's getting better. Anna Jay's wrestling is getting much quicker, crisper. And again, on this show, you're going to see some kind of misses. There were definite misses in some of the early matches too. But this is your testing, your proving ground, your training, and all that. And yeah, she took the hot tag, did Anna. So that's your sign that you're the star of the tag team, is that Ty makes the tag out. Anna comes in, the crowd goes crazy. And this was where I decided Eddie Kingston should call everything. I'm not just talking about AEW. He should call hockey, baseball, basketball, absolutely everything. Eddie Kingston is he might be my new favorite color commentator. Again, outside of this show, just listening to him on the commentary, it was fantastic. And then Anna did make her opponent tap. I didn't know which one it was, whether it was Ella or Jay Lee. The one thing is that with this being your enhancement talent, or jobber as it's been called in wrestling traditionally, or whatever you want to call them, they don't get an entrance. They're just in the ring. So when the ring announcer's already in the ring, and that's when you can tell that that's who's going to lose the match. Already in the ring is Salvatore Sincere. Okay, so you're going down, right? Just as an example of a jobber from the past. So yeah, then we get Lee Moriarty against Daniel Garcia with 2.0. This was a very good match. Lee Moriarty is hasn't won a match yet. He's winless, right, in AEW to this point. And I think this made him 0-3. But he can go. He's a good wrestler. He got at least one near pin in there, and I thought it was well done. He had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hands. We even got chants for him during the match. On the other side, Eddie hates, and this feeds into the feud, of course, with Mox and all that, and the fact that him and Mox are against 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, and he just hates him, and he kept talking about how ugly they were. And for some reason, again, I thought that was funny. Is look at that ugly kid out there. I'm like, yeah, that's Eddie. Eddie's great. And he even said, nice chop by the ugly kid during the match. And I thought it was great. And he kept saying, look, I'm sorry, I hate him. And it had this Jesse Ventura feel to it. Just, yeah, I don't like him. I don't care. Yeah, that's a nice move, whatever. I don't care. And then it was a submission win. It was a good match. Garcia spends the match working on Moriarty's leg, and that played into the finish. So Moriarty held on. It's a nice finisher for Garcia too, where he gets the sharpshooter, and then he falls back in it, and it just makes it look better. And it's like the lion tamer from Chris Jericho before it became a Boston Crab. It just looks more painful with the old lion tamer, where he'd be right on the neck. I understand why WWE didn't want to see that, and so he changed it when he went there. But Moves can be a little bit more painful looking and not necessarily any more dangerous. So Garcia continues to pick up some wins here, and I think there's a bright future for Garcia. And then the main event was Sky Blue versus Nyla Rose. The longest matches, I think both of these went 5 minutes. The two matches that ended out were 5 minutes each. These ones here, not that long. Remember, you got 8 matches. It's a 40-minute show. So, right, and you've got ring entrances too to deal with. And so with Nyla Rose versus Sky Blue, Sky gets an actual entrance. She comes out to music and all that. So she gets an actual entrance and crowd cheering for her as well. But then out comes Vicky Guerrero, and Justin Roberts was getting ready to introduce Nyla, and she just told him he's a loser and get out of the ring. And so Justin Roberts leaves the ring, and she was screaming, Nyla Rose at the entrance, and then she was screaming during the match as well. Definitely just A plus Vicky Guerrero right there. And for Nyla, as all power, Eddie went quiet. Eddie was basically asked to be quiet, and so he just stopped talking to the point where Tony Schiavone had to kind of tell him, yeah, it's so get talking again. You could tell that the announcers weren't taking this 100% seriously, which honestly, you don't want to see that with all your product, but it's nice for a change. It gives it a different feel. And so for Sky Blue, she had trouble knocking Nyla down until she hits a crossbody off the top and then knocked her down. She hits some nice moves, but in the end, it's a beast bomb. It's a win for Nyla Rose. Sky Blue, I will echo what I saw in the comment section under this video that said, well, not the video I'm doing now, but the video where I watched this, that said they're waiting for Sky Blue to be announced officially as All Elite. Agreed. The fans like her. She's got a different look, and there's a lot of talent there. So, good main event. Decent show. There you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. If anybody's wondering, where's all the NFL stuff? Again, and I've talked about this before. This is easy. This is 40 minutes. I can just watch and take a little bit of notes. Football's a lot more intense. There's a lot more to it. And it's a lot of teams. And hockey season starts preseason starts in 12 days. So there's a limited amount of time I have to devote. So wrestling's easier. Between the two, wrestling's easier than football. So, yeah, there you go. That's why I'm devoting my attention where I am this year. Can change from year to year, but that's where I'm at. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will talk to you again soon.